What's up? What's up, my people's Philan Speaks back for another video. Uh, been getting a lot of comments. I haven't been responding to them for various reasons. Some I prefer to wait for this situation. Others, I'm starting to just ignore some people who keep coming with the same stuff over and over again. And no matter how many times I explain my position on it, they're going to just keep reiterating as if constantly repeating something is going to affect the way I see something or the way I see a situation is ridiculous to me. So you got part of that going on. There's a couple of people I had to just block because they just, we're just completely out of line. But we're going to go through this here, and All right. So we have a name that I have not used to been seeing. Okay, this is a new person here, so welcome. Leonard Gomez, okay, 6959. He says, "So Philan, since when have you been watching the WNBA and making videos of teams and players? And how come you have just one player you hate so much? And for a man, you're very disrespectful to women. No matter how much I don't like Angel Reese, I never use the word you call Sophie Cunningham. And believe me when I say I just don't like Angel Reese, but I'll never disrespect her as a young woman. Guess you're right. We are made different because you have shown the type of man you are. If a woman is better at doing things in life and is successful, guess when you're a loser, that's what you automatically end up doing, disrespecting women." All right, Leonardo. I'm going to give you somewhat of a pass because I don't recognize your name here, and this means you probably don't know me. You might be judging me off of one video, so I'm going to give you somewhat of a pass. Give your judgmentalism and acting like you know me a bit of a pass. But let me explain this here, since you seem to have a little issue understanding what's happening here. All right, so Sophie Cunningham here is talking on her podcast, right? And from what I've seen in other statements of hers and so on, though she's a player and a teammate of Caitlin Clark, she espouses what I find some of the most abhorrent talking points of Caitlin Clark fans. Like their talking points about, her being the face and the reasons they give it, which whatever, I don't really care about the face of the league. One day I'm going to sit and talk about that. I think I really don't care about that. Yeah, I care about who's really the best, and I care about results on the court, right? I'm not here for the tomfoolery, for the pop culture. All right, I'm not a part of pop culture at all. All right, in anything. But first of all, you say, how come I have one player I hate? Okay, number one, and as I've said many times, I don't hate Caitlin Clark. I think the notion that I would hate Caitlin Clark is stupid. All right, the word hate is being used way too loosely here. This is part of pop culture. You hate this here, you hate that, right? Everything is hate. No, what it is I have an opinion about Caitlin Clark's game that goes against the dominant narrative, right? Most of you, or many of you people, believe that when you watch her play, this is the greatest thing you've ever seen. And don't tell me that's not. Because some of you, who I'm going to deal with later, lying and saying that no one says that Caitlin Clark is the best women's basketball player, you're a liar. There are too many people who say that, and many people who believe that, okay? So I don't hate Caitlin Clark, okay? That's number one. And for a man, you're very disrespectful to women. You don't know me, okay? So please, you just don't know me at all personally, right? You don't know anything about my personal life, my relationships, my daughters, any of that. So miss me with that shit, okay? No matter how much I don't like Angel Reese, I'll never use the word you call what did I call Sophie Cunningham? A dumbo, a dumb blind. That's what I believe, and that's based on what she says. And let me explain this to you here, okay? I believe Caitlin Clark fans have dumb points. I've said that to them. I say that on this show many times. I went to their channels and said that to them. This is just known. If you follow the channel, I think your points, and most of them are just dumb, okay? And Sophie Cunningham, I feel, is speaking not from her own brain, but she's speaking as a person that is influenced by these ideas that are exposed by Caitlin Clark fans and the hype and the whole machine. Okay, so therefore I call her dumb. And basically, I think anyone who just follows the wave of something and who doesn't use their own brain and to formulate their own opinions are the same. Okay, so just because she's a woman and she's a sheep, that doesn't mean it's any different than with a man. Okay, men and women are equal time when it comes to that. Whether or not it's intelligence or not intelligence. So that's you making that distinction between disrespectful to women as opposed to men, right? I think that men and women are equal when it comes to the intellectual sphere. Okay, so that's like saying if a woman writes a book, right, as an author, and let's say I'm being a critic of the book after I read it, I'm not allowed to say that she did a horrible job because it's a woman. That's disrespect to woman. Whereas if it's a man, say if George R.R. Martin or someone wrote a book and it was a horrible book, is it okay that I criticize him? So men can be criticized for that, the intellectual sphere, whereas women can't? Now, you may not have liked the fact that I, was referring to her blonde and all of that. That there was just me roasting her, right? Attempt to be funny and all of that. That's not real. You know what I mean? There's the stereotype about blonde women. Now, I'm just saying, I think she fits the stereotype. That's all. Okay? All right. You say you'll never disrespect Angel Reese. That's good. I don't know what you're talking about, though. Why would you disrespect Angel Reese? Because you're a certain type of man you are. You don't know me, so please. All right. Let's go. Mo PFLI. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. All right. He says he or she. I'm thinking your man, but I'm not sure. Says CC is like MJ for the WNBA, but they are not the same. I agree with the second part of that they are not the same. Says where MJ was the best and the most popular player in the league, CC is just the most popular. She brings the most casual fans / the most money to the league. A lot of young girls and fans of CC. Do you think the parents can deny their children's wishes? No chance. All right. First of all, you're losing my interest just with the way you're going. I really, really don't care about that. Said that brings families and money to the league. Do they understand basketball? No, but who cares? The WNBA is an entertainment product and not academics. All right. Now, this is under the video where I'm talking about Sophie Cunningham. All right. Sure, what you're saying is true about casuals. Okay, that doesn't mean I have to like casuals. Just because casuals bring a bunch of money doesn't mean I have to like them. Okay, there's two separate things. Number two, Sophie Cunningham was speaking. I don't expect Sophie Cunningham, a player, to speak like a casual. Okay, so I don't know what we're getting at and how this relates to Sophie. All right, which players got the most attention and made the most money since CC is in the league? AR and Asia. Hold on. Which players got the most attention and made the most money since CC is in the league? AR and Asia. AR has numerous endorsements, and what the hell does that have to do with Caitlin Clark? What are you're saying? You think people watch Angel Reese's podcast because of Caitlin Clark being in the league? No, that's delusional. Okay, that's like saying Angel Reese has the amount of Instagram followers that she has because of Caitlin Clark. That's ridiculous as well. Then why would Angel Reese have more followers than Caitlin Clark? Right? So, no, there is a fan base that Angel Reese has that is completely independent of the Caitlin Clark dynamic. Right? Then there may be others after who started to follow her and jump on her side because they saw what was created by media and by the fan bases that came as a result of LSU defeating Iowa. People did see that, and there are black people who will take to the side of someone like that who feel like they're being, attacked, victimized, or whatever. That does exist, sure, right? But your point, I'm not following well. And then saying Asia has got the most. Asia, why would Asia have any attention that has anything to do with Caitlin Clark? Other than the fact that every time Asia Wilson gets in front of a damn microphone for a magazine or anything, someone has to ask her about Caitlin Clark, which is annoying, right? which is annoying. Like, for example, with Diana Taurasi, having her last season, and Diana Taurasi, after they played the Indiana Fever, an asshole reporter asked Diana Taurasi, "Oh, how does it feel playing against Caitlin Clark?" And you got someone like Diana Taurasi who for 20 years have been putting in work, all right, and established her greatness and won her championships and all of that. And you dingbats think that that's appropriate to come ask her how's it like playing against Caitlin Clark, when really you should be asking Caitlin Clark what's it like playing against Diana Taurasi. One is the legend on the court, the other one isn't. But y'all don't see that. There's something wrong with y'all, and that's what I keep telling you. Your logic, you're so fanboy, under this fanboy haze for this girl whose game is not all of that, right? That your logic is all twisted, right? And I'm gonna get to some of y'all others because some of y'all really starting to get on my nerves, actually. All right. AB has a podcast with Candace Parker. The Blondes have numerous endorsements and followers. They don't depend on their NBA money, WNBA money anymore. Why? Because they are nice to CC. Why can't the WNBA do that? Because they're nice to CC. Well, what is the point that you're making? Like that? Oh God, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody, this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? You just mentioned AR and Asia, right? Who supposedly are not nice to CC, right? And they have endorsements, they have sneakers, they have all these different things, okay? Then you're going to mention these others because they're nice to CC, so be nice to CC. You are let me just continue. Let me woo-sa. Woo-sa. That's just the only thing I could do with this here. Is it grifting? Yes. Is it immoral? No. The whole NBA grifted off MJ. He was popular first and then the rest followed. That's bullshit. That's a bunch of bullshit. Okay? With the NBA, you already had Julius Erving, who is extremely wildly popular. Then you also had Bird and Magic, who was also wildly popular. Then along with MJ came Barkley and Drexler and Olajuwon and all these guys who became popular just on their own as well as with MJ. It wasn't just off of MJ. Maybe for some people who just didn't watch basketball at all, yeah. But people who watch basketball, these people were popular in their own individual cities based off the greatness that they built on their own. Like, this is bullshit. Like, the whole way you see it is pure bullshit, right? And even this idea that, MJ made basketball global, that's bullshit. Now, he made the NBA global, yeah, but he didn't make basketball global. The team that made basketball global is the Harlem Globetrotters. Do your research. They made basketball global. MJ helped make NBA basketball global. There's a difference. Just let the tide lift your boat. Man, get out of here. Get out of here, Stephen A. I don't care about that. So Brandon Smith said, damn Pamela Anderson here in the room. Yep. Brandon Smith says what she was talking about was making money off of the exposure like she's doing. That's why she said, if you're smart. Yeah, and she's not the first, okay? Angel Reese was doing that. But Angel Reese was doing it with nothing had anything to do with CC at all, right? Only Sophie is now, the latecomer doing it, okay? All right, Benjamin Smith, 2287. Listen, I like you, Benji. You're starting to get on my nerves a little bit. But here we go. All right, it says, nothing about hair color makes for a person's intelligence, just like skin color. All right, Ben, why do you feel like you need to explain that? Do you really think you need to explain that, Ben? Do you think I really believe hair color makes people dumb or anything like that? No, what I was doing was roasting Sophie Cunningham based on a stereotype that white people made, okay? The stereotype about blonde hair is a white creation, okay? It was not black people who created the character Kelly Bundy on the damn on Married with Children. Black people didn't do that, okay? We didn't make a dumb blonde, talking about the new Alante. We didn't create that, okay? Nor did black people create Christy from friggin' Three's Company or the various number of just dumb blondes, or even Thor, how stupid they make him in Marvel, right? Black people didn't do that. No, that was a white thing that they created in their own culture, okay? Based on the way they view their own who have blonde hair. All right? Sophie is not dumb. Yeah, I think she is dumb. Okay, you have your opinion and I have mine. And Caitlin Clark has a dumb little crossover and jump shot. Is your way of saying she doesn't have much game. Okay. You already know my opinion of Caitlin Clark. Why you keep getting in your feelings about it? I don't understand. Like, how many times must I say it? How many times must I say it? Right? Like, it's starting to blow my mind. Like, anything that I say about Caitlin Clark, but why? You might as well just get used to it. I'm not going to stop taking shots at Caitlin Clark. What are we talking about? Like, for example, I'm a Sixers fan. If the Dallas Cowboys have players, you come to my channel, oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm an Eagles fan, right? Dallas Cowboys are players I'm always going to take shots at. I'm always going to do it. That's just what it is. That's when I'm wearing the fan hat, right? I can also take the fan hat off and speak, objectively, like I'm just on ESPN and talk about players as well, okay? You just got to get used to that, bro. I don't know where, like I'm saying, you say you're from New York, I guess, right? And I believe all of that. But have you ever just chilled in a barbershop and discussed basketball with people? Right, we talk shit, okay? Sometimes I talk shit, and then sometimes, there's times I can sit back and talk about her game and the good points and why overall I don't like it. I mean, you know this. But I'm not going to stop taking shots at Caitlin Clark. I'm a Chicago Sky fan. The Indiana Fever are a rival team. I'm going to take shots at them. And then also, as I've said, I don't like our fan base, or many of our fan base. Okay, not everybody, and that's the other thing y'all got to stop with. Okay, I'm part of a fan base that is criticized nationally. That's the Philadelphia Eagles fan base. People say we're criminals. People say we snowball Santa Claus. People say beat up people in the stands. All these different things, right? And I hear it all the time. Personally, I'm not offended, right? Because I know that there are Eagle fans who are like that, right? Someone who criticizes them, I'm with the critic who says that about them. What I'm tired of is Caitlin Clark fans acting like they have to defend the assholes among the fan base. Why do you have to defend them? Or why do you have to say, we're not all like that? When I'm not talking about all of you. I'm talking about whoever the shoe fits. Why do you sit there and pretend like those people don't exist, though? That's what I don't get. But anyway. Doesn't have much game, but she does. Bruh, you think she's this superior athlete with all this game? I don't see it. Like, just because you're saying it doesn't mean I'm going to see it. I have to watch her play and see it. I don't see it. Like, it's like, what are we not getting? Says you're best off not even talking about Caitlin because your bias is so strong is against her that you directly or indirectly bash her any chance you get. Yes, of course. like a duh. Like, oh, God. Anyway, that's all right, Ben. You good, man. Goodness gracious. Edward Stevens says, same old hypocritical bashing as usual, nothing new here to hear. Cunningham's trying to get big off of Clark's name. Yeah. All right, Israel. All right. Israel says he had to edit it because he probably was talking too crazy, right? He probably was all emotional after seeing the video, and then he probably typed something that he knew that I would get in his ass about, and then he went and edited it. So he says here, I'm starting to think you are slow. Nobody says she was the best player. She's the most entertaining woman in sports to a lot of people's eyes. You don't think so, but you are in the minority. The most important thing in sports is entertainment, not championship. 99% of people are slow. Ask any owner. Will they have 5 championships and make $2 million a year, or be boring or never win a championship, make $50 million and are entertaining? Nobody cares about 0.3 or 357 Spurs. No one talks about them all at all. They are irrelevant. Suns never won a title or Rockets with D'Antoni, but they always talk about them, how fun and entertaining it was to watch. The lowest 4-rated finals was bubble championships with Lakers and those 3 championships with the Spurs. Nobody cares. Get that through your skull. Israel Villola. This is the stupidest shit I've ever read in my entire years of doing this. This is the stupidest shit I've ever read. It's so stupid, I should just go buy it. But you know what? I'm going to actually entertain you here for a second. First of all, you're a liar saying no one says she's the best player right now. You can go right over to Rudy's podcast to come on the Household Podcast. He says the greatest women's basketball player of all time. You go to Ben Daniels. He said it plenty of times. You can go and search all of the comments under these videos and see how many times people say Caitlin Clark is the best player, revolutionary player, changing everything, the best player they've ever seen. This is the reason I started talking about her, because I was looking to see it. Was it true? Because I saw her playing Iowa. I didn't see it, but this is what people were saying, so I started looking into it. You're a liar if you're saying that, or you live under a rock. That's number one. We're going to start there. She's the most entertaining woman in sports to a lot of people's eyes. Okay, but why? When I ask you why? Because of a logo 3. And because they think that she passes like Magic Johnson. Okay? That's the reason. But this is the thing about human beings that I know that I think you may need to look into. The vast majority of humans, that's why I like your little comment about me being in the minority means nothing to me. I'm typically always in the minority. Why? Because I use my own brain and I have my own judgment based off of principles that I've derived on my own. Like, I'm the guy that's going to walk into a room, and just because 8 people say that such and such is the best, and 2 people say the person isn't, I don't care about joining that 8, right? I'm just not that guy. Most people, when they go to buy sneakers, they don't even know how to decide what sneakers they like. They'll ask the person who works there. And I've been with women who worked in Foot Locker. I used to know a girl who worked in Foot Locker. Okay? Most people don't even know when they look at a pair of sneakers, oh damn, this is a pair. They want to ask her opinion. What do you think of these? And then they want to ask other people, what do you think of these? Right? And if she likes him, then they'll buy him. But they don't, on their own, they can't even produce their own opinion when it comes to something simple as choosing a pair of sneakers. Same thing with clothing. I've dealt with people who worked I've worked, right, in retail. The majority of people who come in, they're going to ask you your opinion. You think this is a nice shirt? What about these pants? You think this match? They want second opinions and third opinions. Most people are like this. Most people are sheep. Do you understand? This is why you got a guy in the office like the guy you have in the office. Why? There's propaganda. In psychology, it's called the law of suggestion. It's called the law of suggestion. They know that human beings are easily manipulated, especially if you continue to say the same statement over and over and over and over and over and over. You show the same images over and over and over and over, right? This country literally just a few years ago had everybody walking around wearing masks, right? And it was not based on people doing research and finding out what was really the reality and what was really going on with this particular virus. It was just enough that people were flashing numbers of deaths, all on the television constantly. And then you have so-called doctors get up there talking, kind of saying the same thing over and over, put it on every radio station, say the same thing, put it on every, you know who I was? I was the guy that went and researched it. I went and researched it. I was the guy, I was one of those guys that recognized, you know what? It's all about the immune system. If you strengthen the immune system with vitamin D3 amongst other vitamins, right? What you want to do is you actually want to catch it yourself. And that's the same, or if not, that's actually even more effective than going and getting a shot, right? This is who I was. I was always in the minority because I use my brain. That's the difference, right? So your comment about being in the minority means nothing to me. You're talking to the wrong guy. Go talk to somebody else about that. That means nothing to me. I have no interest in being in the majority because I know the majority of people are sheep and dingbats. This is the truth of the matter. This is why cult people this is why people follow guys like freaking Charles Manson. This is why people follow people like David Koresh. This is why people follow, dude, we can go on forever. This is why people follow L. Ron Hubbard walking around talking about Scientology. Because people are stupid. It's just a fact. And then the vast majority of people don't use their brain. Anyway, let's see here. You said the most important thing in sports is entertainment, not championship. Oh my God, dude. Like, the way we see this is like night and day. Let me give you an example. And then this is what I learned just being an Eagles fan. We had Randall Cunningham, okay? A quarterback who was called the ultimate weapon. Guy would pass for 4,000 yards, run for another 900, throw 40 touchdowns, right? Run for another 10. This guy was ridiculous, okay? Never seen a more talented guy than that. Watching Randall Cunningham, nothing like watching Randall Cunningham jump over someone's head and all that type of stuff. But you know what happened at the end of the year? We go to the playoffs and he lose. I don't know about you, but that feeling of losing completely overshadows all that entertainment shit, the joy from the entertainment. That feeling of losing overshadows all of it. And what you're saying is bullshit. People would tell you that Randall Cunningham was more entertaining than Joe Montana. Sure, absolutely. He's way more entertaining than Troy Aikman, right? You might have found the Dallas Cowboys of '92 boring. Hand the ball on Emmitt Smith 25 to 30 times. Go downfield to Michael Irvin or Alvin Harper sometimes, okay? Whereas with Randall Cunningham, oh man, he running around, jumping over people's head, he doing this, doing that. Then he lose. The feeling of winning is the greatest euphoria you will ever get from sports. Unless you're just really a loser. Unless you really are just a loser. 99% of people are slow. All right. So you a minute ago said I'm in the minority, and now you're saying 99% of people are slow. So why would being in the minority be a significant thing then, if 99% of people are slow? Ask any owner, will they have 5 championships and make $2 million a year and be boring, or never win a championship, make $50 million and are entertaining? Nothing you're saying is making any sense here, okay? I know you tried to make an argument about the Spurs. Listen to me. Those Spurs, who were those Spurs that were winning championships, they're selling out every night in their own stadium. Just like the Sixers would say Allen Iverson is selling out. And then your bubble championship point is stupid because of the fact that people were going through COVID at the time and there was no crowd there. So that was dumb to bring that up, okay? And you want to call me slow. It's just amazing, you know. No, those Spurs, I'm sure, like, if they had a problem with the winning that they were doing, then why wouldn't they trade, why didn't they ever trade Tim Duncan then, sir? Right? If the 02 and 05 and 07 Spurs, who I loved because I love basketball, I love defense, and I love the real stuff, right? Why didn't they trade Tim Duncan for a more exciting player? Just answer me that. You literally said the Suns never won a title, but the Rockets are talked about more than the Spurs. You are a crackhead. I'm sorry. I'm convinced. You're a crackhead. Okay? Yeah, my man K-Sap, simply ball dropping, came in, dropped in a laugh. That's all you need. All right, here's MDM, another one of these guys. He says, I see you're still doing the same old stick. It's ironic that you say that CC hasn't helped anybody in the league, yet you yourself is aggressively trying to grow your channel by using CC's name constantly. I mean, your channel has at least twice as many Caitlin Clark videos as all other CC topics combined, and it's obvious to everyone why you do it. It's almost exclusively your videos with Caitlin Clark in some form in the title that are close to breaking 1,000 views. You're cloud chasing just as much as anyone else on CC's name. All right, here's another CC worshiper and ass kisser, okay? And obviously you're not really looking at the videos for real, okay? Since I've started this here, I get more views from Angel Reese videos than Caitlin Clark's. And that's because my subscriber base is mostly Angel Reese fans. That's what they are. And a large portion is also Philadelphia Eagles fans. The problem though with views and all of that, you probably don't know this because you probably don't have a channel, is it's not about like the content creator versus the subscriber base or even the people. It's not that. It's the content creator versus the algorithm. Content versus the algorithm. The problem with my Eagles views is that I don't make enough Eagles videos all around the year. I don't like doing off-season videos and just talking about whatever. It amounts to small talk for me, right? So during the Eagles season, where I'm constantly putting out Eagles videos, that's when I get more views, okay? But the way the algorithm works in with YouTube, what would make me maximize is if I had 3 different channels, right? Like a women's basketball channel, then an Eagles channel, then an NBA channel, stuff like that. Part of the problem is I refuse to do that, so that kind of hurts me with the algorithm. That's what's going on. Like if you want to know the deal. But as far as like Caitlin Clark videos and all of that, no, I don't just do mostly Clark videos and all of that. Do I like to clown Caitlin Clark in the Fever? Yeah, I do. Yeah, but I do that out of fun. Cloud chasing and all of that. Trust me, it's not enough money to cloud chase. If I was trying to make money off of Caitlin Clark, I would just be a fake Caitlin Clark supporter. That's what I would do. I would do what some of the other brothers are doing and just come out here and glaze Caitlin Clark and talk about how she's the greatest ever. Okay? That's what I would do. If I believed that, then that's what I would do. I don't believe that, so that's why my channel doesn't do that. Like, maybe you can't understand that, right? And I know it hurts me in terms of viewers and subscribers, but it is what it is. I'll allow my channel to grow in the manner that it will grow. Slowly getting the type of people that I'd rather have as a subscriber base. I'd rather do that than just be fake and phony and have this phony channel and all of that. You know, I'm not doing that. But anyway, I don't, who cares about it? I'm done with you, bro. All right, so here's another person that here. He says, I guess he does not know that last season Clark had a meeting with the WNBA to give bonuses due to the increase in attendance. The WNBA said no because of the current CBA. All right, just show your evidence of that. Show your evidence of that. And Ben here comes on there and says, I wouldn't say that, but he does too much Clark stuff. Like, how you going to tell me what I do too much of? But whatever. Said, we know how he feels, and some agree while others don't. And Clark fans aren't a monolith, and any channel that says they are is irresponsible. His Eagles and football content is excellent, as is his general basketball talk, but all sports talk is up to debate. Yeah, I don't have a problem with what you said here, but like, you know, I can do as much Caitlin Clark stuff as I want. It's like, yeah, I just don't understand. The idea Clark fans are a monolith, again, is just ridiculous. If you're not a monolith, then you shouldn't be offended when I talk about the part of the fan base that I have a problem with. You shouldn't be defending them or any of that. Chocolate Girl says a little touch, that's the word you're looking for. Yeah, pretty much. Cometan Kilpack is a new name. I don't know. So welcome. He says, you all come here talking about fever teams, so sad. You all can go back to Chicago and help them win some games. Losing teams always have something bad to say to the winning team, which is sad. Hope you all can go back and help AR to make a layup, shoot threes. Oh, okay. So you don't have anything to say. I got you. All right, so Francisco Oreo says, so you know exactly why Sabrina was bothered? Like you read her mind, or maybe she personally told you specifically why she was mad? Which one was it? All the name calling, bro. You wear your emotions on your sleeve. Bad look, bro. Yeah, I don't care about that. Raphael Major says, it's the typical rambling of a CC hater. Anything Clark is dumb and stupid. It's enough to accept CC is the face of the league. But yeah, Sophie is already getting the money. Dexter Fuqua says, Indiana Fever better without Caitlin Clark. Possibly. This is the best record they've had. Yeah, and then you got CC fanboys here arguing with people. Dudes are funny, man. Pacerland 3173. He's another guy that claims to be like a good Caitlin Clark fan, if you want to call it that. But he always has a problem with me coming at the idiots. These types of people blow my mind. He says rent free. So I'm not allowed to speak about what I think of what Sophie Cunningham said. You're offended that you're mad because I talked about Sophie Cunningham. All right, well, that's your problem. Anyway, he says, I understand, though, because Reebok Girl and your team is losing. You need a winning team to talk about, and you don't understand how revenue works. So how did they get the record number television contract mysteriously when a certain player appeared? Let me guess it wasn't all right. And it works just like the player. All right, this is what I'm saying, stupido, right? The ladies, right, haven't got any of the money yet. That hasn't happened yet. What you're wanting them to do is act a certain way based off of the promise of some money that's supposed to come. You know what that's called? That's called the pimp game. That's what that's called. A pimp, what he does is he gets women, or men in some cases, to go out there and degrade themselves by selling their bodies in exchange, not for money, because the money goes to him, in exchange for the hopes of one day, what's going to happen is we're going to all be rich. We're going to all be up out of this house here on 4th Street, right, where you just up in a room that got roaches and mice and all of that, right? But one day we're going to be in this big mansion. We all going to get paid. You're going to have a mansion. I'm having a mansion. She's going to have a mansion. All you got to do is just keep laying down and getting pounded, okay? That's called a pimp game. Here, these ladies, just because you got a CB, just because you got a television deal, you got all of that, that's not money in their pocket yet. So they know that they're going to have to sit down at a CBA and discuss these things. And right now, they're going through the process of doing that. Sophie Cunningham, like you idiots, are talking like they already received some money. And they haven't. Like I said at the end of the video, if you listened, you probably didn't because you probably got in your feelings before we got to that part. I said, hell, if they get to the point where they're giving them all $1 million checks or whatever, then maybe they'll allow those things to happen. Caitlin Clark, they'll let her shoot, they'll do all of that. But so far, they haven't gotten any damn money. What the hell is a TV contract to them? They're looking for money in their pocket. That's what they're looking for. Anyway, there's a lot of arguments going on here. But I don't get what y'all don't understand. These women haven't gotten any money yet. All right, so anyway, man, that's all I got. This video's gotten mad long, so I get with y'all.